All right, guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay. So it is time for a full review of the LG G8. Now, this is the T-Mobile version because I have that crimson red or whatever it's called, cranberry red. I don't know, something red. It's actually pretty sweet. I think this is the best color of this device in my personal opinion. But we're going to get into a full review of this device, man. And I've had this device since launch. And it has just been, my primary SIM card is still in here. I don't anticipate taking it out until I start reviewing the next Pixel. And I have another folding device that's coming. Oops, spoiler. But we're going to get into this device right here, the LG G8, and how it stacks up, and just kind of a discussion. Plus, obviously, I got to give you the hands-on. So let's start with design and hardware. So this design is a design that when I hear people say it doesn't bring anything new to the table, there's nothing exciting about it, it doesn't stand out, I'm shocked by that, because this is one of the few flagships where the camera is actually flush with the phone, which makes it very, very nice in my opinion. I apologize if you hear some lawn care people, they love to do this to me. But you've got the fingerprint reader flush, you've got the cameras on the rear flush. You've just got an overall smooth design. And if I didn't have this tempered glass on here, you notice there's no earpiece because it's using that vibrating motor for sound. And even the front camera and all the sensors are actually under the glass, all smooth. Simple as that. Let's take this off for a second. It's just a tempered glass. All smooth. This is just a smooth, it just seamlessly flows through with the phone. It's just flowing right along. And this is something about the hardware that is absolutely great. Not a lot of flagships are doing that. They don't have a seamless design like this with the cameras on the front and the rear, and just an overall great appearance in my opinion. Now you do have a power button on this side, SIM tray and SD card, which can take up to 2 terabytes. I don't even know if there's any 2 terabyte cards out there. And on this side here, you've got, which I think this is basically another noise canceling microphone. But correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. I accept any answers that you guys could throw out there. Volume rocker, and this is a Google Assistance button that I immediately turned off as soon as I got the device. Headphone jack, microphone, and you've got charging sink and your charging cable right there, and data transfer, speaker here. And obviously, you got that fingerprint on the back there, and on the front here, you have a time of flight camera, which does facial recognition. It does hand gestures and all kind of things like that. And I'll demo that right now for you. Let's see if I can get it to unlock for me. Move hand closer. Move hand farther away. Swipe to unlock. It's weird that I demoed this for everyone that I tried to demo it for, and it worked immediately. It worked immediately. And then as soon as I try to do it on camera, no go. Well, real world. For some reason, now that I'm filming, I can't get it to work. I don't know what it's about. But it does have the hand gesture, fingerprint reader, and facial unlock, and pin input. You can do on your body unlock. That's something a part of Android, though. But the hardware on here, as I was saying, absolutely great, man. In my opinion, this is some great looking hardware. And the screen is 6.1-inch Quad HD display, which is super nice because it's an OLED display. We're getting a whole bunch right here, folks. We're getting a whole bunch. And my price tag was $620, obviously, because I have the T-Mobile version. And then Best Buy, I think, sells it for $649 if you do an activation with a carrier. But B&H is where I would recommend to get it if you don't want to get it through T-Mobile, because there's no taxes with B&H depending on where you live. And then there's, sometimes they offer free shipping. And they have it actually for $6.99. Plus, you get some free 3 months of free service with them, I believe. So do your own research, though, and be sure before you hit that buy button. But this is the T-Mobile version, and in my personal opinion, I like this color first. Then I like that gray color, and then the black, obviously, last. I don't like the black in it at all. But hardware, on point, folks, on point. Now, as far as features and options go, LG has their own, things in here that some phones just don't have. Not a lot of flagships have an FM radio. They don't have it. And if you didn't know, it has an FM radio. It's got a headphone jack. So if you didn't have service anywhere, you could actually just plug in your headphones and you're going to get some high quality sound. And then you have a headphone jack with an FM radio, free music to you. And then it has the HD recorder too. I've actually tested that and it's actually pretty awesome. But a lot of people don't know that LG has LG Fit, and I actually keep mine running up here. I think LG Fit is absolutely awesome. It works fine, no issues at all. LG has always had quick memo, which is why I'm kind of curious why they never capitalized on a pen input or something. I just don't know about that. I don't know why they never capitalized on it. It's beyond me. I have no clue why they didn't capitalize on that. Anyway, in the management here, you got your update center, your file locator, and the feature that I've been trying to demo is the hand unlock, which is weird because maybe it's because it's under, okay, maybe it's the LED light up there. Yeah, it might be the LED light because this has never failed me. Yeah, as you can see, it's working. It might be that the sensor is hitting the LED light up there. That's never failed me. And all the other stuff, the twists and all, I've yet to get that to work. And I just said, I'm throwing in the towel. But those are some handy features there. And the facial recognition, let me see if I can get it to work from behind the camera. It pops right open. It's super blazing fast. And, you know, just the few features and options that it does have is really, really good. Another feature that you can't see is when you put it on a box or something like that, the sound, or you can put it on a table and it vibrates. This doesn't have technically stereo speakers, but the screen itself becomes the speaker, if you will, and then you've got the port out at the bottom as well. So when you sit it down on something, you're getting a pretty loud sound. Another feature that you can't see is obviously the DAC. I have tested these with some of the most powerful headphones that I have, and I have quad driver and triple driver headphones, earbuds, everything, and this phone handles it like a champ. I am telling you, it handles it like a champ. Let me see if I can grab the tip of this thing so I can plug it in for you, because you get the DAC, which is something. I have mine set to when I plug it in, open Pandora, and go straight to my gospel station. Won't he do it? Yes, he will, folks. You already know. For those that know, he will do it. So when I swipe down here, now you can see my hi-fi DAC is in full effect right there. No phone that I know of is touching these DACs. Even my Axon 7 has a good DAC, but it don't have a DAC like this. And that's another feature and option that you can't see. So I think that's boss. I think that LG has done a wonderful thing with the DAC on this device and nearly all of their devices. Now, some of you guys have asked, which speaker is louder? Is it just G7 and G8? I think those people are asking that because they want to know, should they upgrade? I'm going to tell you folks, you got to go ahead and you got to place your order and get it yourself. Or go into a store, take your G7 in there with you, go into your local store and play with the phone. Simple as that. Simple as that. Hands down. Now, another feature that you can see is performance. Now, this phone right here, I complained about them not implementing the Pi features in here. And it's something, I did turn on the gestures. I believe I turned on the gestures for a little bit. If you go into, let's see here. Yes, let me see. We got gestures. Where's my gestures at? You can turn on. Here we go. It should be in here. Yeah, here we go. You can actually turn on the gestures, the swipe gestures, but it still doesn't go up. It goes this way. So I was like, what the heck, man? And I just wasn't feeling it, man. I just wasn't feeling this. I just turned the buttons back on and called it a day. But you can swipe up. But LG didn't implement the volume rocker from Pi. None of that, man. They didn't do any of that. You still have to do it the old way. And I was pretty disappointed in that. And I'm still disappointed in that. I don't like that I have to have the old way of doing things. Come on, LG. We got to do better. We got to do better. But the software on here, some people say, well, I don't like the skin. It's lame. I don't understand how you don't like the skin. I'm not telling you to like the skin. I'm telling you that what's so different between some round icons and some square icons? Like, honestly, these phones are all fast, and I just don't see, especially with Android, you can change this to what you want. So if this had stock Android, this is what it would look like, folks. This is what it would look like. So I personally don't have a problem with the skin, man. If I can deal with Samsung skin, I can deal with anybody's skin. LG skin is perfectly fine to me. I don't have a problem with it. It's fast, fluid. No issues with the software at all. Battery life is settled in. Battery life has settled in to where I'm getting really good battery life. I'm averaging probably well over 20, well, I shouldn't say well over. I'm getting about 24 to 28 hours on a single charge. And I could get longer if I didn't use the phone 5.5 to 6 hours, 6.5 hours. So that's where I'm at. 6.5, almost 7 it'll be under 24 hours with 7 hours of screen on time, but I'm rolling right along probably at about 5.5 to 6.5 hours of screen on time. 6 hours is rocking straight along real easy for me. So that's pretty good for the 3,500 milliamp hour battery inside of this thing. I'm really feeling it. I'm really feeling the battery. Now, I already talked about the price at the beginning of the video, so let's tackle the cameras. Now, the cameras on here, I'm going to fire it up. I'm just going to take some photos of some things. Just grab a couple of my cameras, and I'll just take a photo. Now, what I noticed is, I noticed that the HDR, the saturation is a little high on here. I'm not going to front it. No, nothing is perfect. But what I noticed is the saturation is high. So I'm actually focusing on that iPad back there. The saturation can be high on this and almost reddish. Now, this is coming after extended use. It's kind of strange how, what's on my case, son? I don't know what that is. It's kind of strange how the colors somewhat reproduce on here. But reality is, let's grab something with a lot of different colors in it. The reality is the cameras are boss. Straight up, the cameras are boss. I think the cameras do great in nearly every setting. This looks a little washed out compared to what the case is really like. Like the case is kind of reddish and that photo looks kind of washed out. I don't know what that's about. But I focus on the camera itself right there. But you know, I feel like the cameras in here are not matched by a lot of cameras. And here's why. You've got manual camera, obviously, but when you head over to more, you've got night view, panorama, you've got YouTube Live, which I've used, is really good, but manual video, jump flash cut, you know what that is. You got the AR stickers and food and cinematic video. This is something that a lot of people have not really tried yet. And I think if you were to try cinematic video, you would get that movie type, you know, cinema, you know what it is. But I feel like the camera is way more advanced than it gets credit for. Now, a lot of people say, oh, Jay, you know, just you and Juan Bagnell like this camera. I don't think so. Right now, if I go into setting, well, first of all, right here, I can control the gain and the microphone. That is something that nearly no phone can do. And if you look real close right there, look close, wind and noise filter. I can filter out the sound of wind and noise. And right now I'm rocking at I'm rocking at 6 frames per second and 1080p. But you can actually go up to 4K at 60 frames per second. And you can rock out right there. You can see it increase to 64 megabytes per second. So this is something that if taken advantage of the right way, this camera can produce the most awesome footage. And I was sitting around and I was looking at, you know, I have a DSLR sitting right there, a couple of lenses, you know what I'm saying? So I'm pretty happy with my DSLR purchase. Even right now, I'm filming with my GoPro Hero 7 Black. And the point I'm making is we have so much tech among us that we don't need to spend $2,000 on a camera. The cameras today on phones and my GoPro Hero 7 Black, I set it to 1440p at 60 frames per second, but it can do up to 240. You already know the Hero 7 Black is the top of the line action camera, period. You heard me say it. This phone's camera right here is so boss, but to me, it does have sometimes an issue with the saturation. Other than that, make your adjustments. Adjust the ISO. Adjust it to where you want it to be. Fool around with it. You will get some of the best shots you have ever gotten. All right? So for me, this phone checks every box. Yeah, the saturation is a little off sometimes, or maybe too saturated, but I've also made the adjustments, and I've got a ton of videos with this camera, and the video footage is crazy nice. Crazy. everything can be done right in the right hands. You can get it done if you just take the time to play with your device. Simple as that. So I tell you, if you're looking for a flagship device with all the latest internals, now you see, I didn't even really go over the internals, but because to me, when you're doing a review, the specs only mean so much, because I've got phones that don't cost $200 that are awesome. You understand what I'm saying? That is how I review a device. I just use it. I go over the specs initially, but eventually you got to just start using the device. And that is what we're doing on this channel, folks. We're going to use a device. We're going to give you at least 5 to 10 videos, and we're going to follow up with you a month later, a year later, as far as I can get back, almost 2 years later. We're going to keep following up as long as I have the devices. Some phones get catch and release. This one is a bona fide, certified boss, straight up and down. This is the flagship to beat right now in 2019 in this office. I don't have every flagship, but I've tested a lot of phones and purchased a lot of phones. And as much as I like my Mate 20X, as much as I like the Vivo Nex S, as much as I like my iPhone 10, as much as I like my Pixel, all these phones that I have, this phone right here is almost the perfect size. It's a great looking device. And these cameras and this DAC, they trump so many. Man, there's more to like about this phone with the attractive price point that it has, and it's offering more. You just have to open your eyes and give it a chance. You understand what I'm saying? So grab the G8, in my opinion, I think. And for those that have it, you know, this phone isn't perfect. I've called out a few flaws, what I think it has, but those flaws do not outweigh the pros that come across in this phone, folks. No way, no how. And I put that on the big ring. It's your man Jay. I'll see you in the next one. LG G8 full review, straight up 10.